Alright, good morning everybody. It's your boy Akeen. Welcome to today's blog. We are on week 2 of championship week. This is the deciding factor of who will be the champions of your decided leagues for this year's fantasy football season. Now for this blog, I'm going to start things off with the quarterbacks that you should start and bench for this week. Now we have a little bit of a situation. Even though this is championship week, some of the teams have already clinched their divisions and are already going to be playing in the playoffs. So you might be at risk of all your star players might not be playing this week, which means they can screw you over if they do not play. And even if they start, they might not plan out for the entire game. Quarterbacks like Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Tony Romo, even though these are good, excellent starters this week, they might not play throughout the entire game because their teams respectively clinched the division and already will be in the playoffs. But there's a couple other quarterbacks that you should use this week, but I have 3 in particular that I believe that they are definite bench for this week. Now I believe that a couple stars like Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, and Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler is a player who's going to be starting this week for the Chicago Bears because Jimmy Clausen actually had to deal with concussion last week, which means Jay Cutler does have a chance to give you some valuable points this week against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, yes, he has 18 interceptions this season, but he does have 28 touchdown passes, and he is worth a risk factor to start this week. Same for Eli Manning of the New York Giants. This week they're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, and in the previous matchup he only had 6 points, but now he's building a great chemistry with star wide receiver Odell Beckham. He's just a rookie, and he is definitely my pick for this year's Rookie of the Year, especially at wide receiver. He's having a great year, outstanding catches, and he shows a lot of potential, already building the good chemistry in the second half of the season with Eli Manning. I think you should start Eli Manning this week. But I mentioned all the other players, Cam Newton and Matt Ryan. They're going to be duking out. Of the winner of that matchup is going to win the NFC South division and make it to the playoffs. So both these two players at quarterback is going to bring in their A game to clinch the division. Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints, even though that they're out of playoff contention, I think that Drew Brees is still a must start against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Aaron Rodgers, even though he had a bad game in the first game against the Detroit Lions, this game is going to clinch the division winner for the North Division of the NFC North. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to do a lot better than the 12-point performance weeks ago earlier in the season. Now, a couple of players that I believe that you should definitely bench this week are Andy Dalton of the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to be playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road, and only in one match thus far in the season on the road where Andy Dalton threw for over 233 yards, does not perform well on the road. Same for Joe Flacco of the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be playing against a tough Cleveland defense, particularly with that secondary with Joe Hayden leading the way. I don't like Joe Flacco as a start this week against that tough Cleveland defense. Lastly, Matt Stafford of the Detroit Lions. I don't think he's a good risk to start this week against that Packers defense at Green Bay. Not liking that at all. A good player that you should probably use to replace this particular player is Mark Sanchez of the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he could be a good matchup this week against the New York Giants. I think you should start Mark Sanchez over those 3 quarterbacks that I believe that you should sit. Now, I'm going to catch you guys in just a couple of minutes. The next video I'm going to talk about are the running backs to use for championship week. Thank you for watching this vlog. I'm your man, Akeen McCall. Be easy.